This podcast is part of the Shrimp Queen Network.
Visit facebook.com/Shrimp Queen Network to see more great podcasts.
Hear them.
Hear more great podcasts.
Good job.
Thanks for listening. I thought I had to burp for a second, but I don't.
Great. Now I feel like I have to.
I was just stuck in there.
Yeah, it's gone. Okay, should we restart that?
No, let's keep going. Keep it going. Oh, gee. You beat me to it.
Sorry, guys.
Wow. The audio spike on that.
Oh,
impressive.
God, that was embarrassing, but hey.
Hopefully, if I keep drinking my LaCroix.
What does Shrek always say?
Better out than in. I was talking about Shrek. Did you see today that there's a rumor that DreamWorks are going to reboot Shrek with the
exact same cast?
No, with the creator of Despicable Me at the helm.
No, they're gonna make people want to
prepare for the fucking donkey dragon babies to become the new minions.
No.
Yeah.
Or the Shrek babies.
Like, how can you improve on those first two movies? It's almost impossible. They're two of the best movies of the 2000s.
You didn't think that we didn't think that they could on the first one, and then they did the second one, which was
better,
like than what we thought. But I mean, no offense, Justin Timberlake, but you joined too late, honey.
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas got in while it was good. And then he got his own movie.
Can you believe they were
was that movie good?
They wanted him to do, someone originally was trying to get him to do just like an English accent, like make him more like Errol Flynn. Like,
who's Errol Flynn?
He's like the classic Robin Hood, the guy with the beard and the mustache.
Oh, okay.
Like the 30s movie or whatever.
No, I love Antonio Banderas. But speaking of franchises, we're talking about Harry Potter, but not the movie.
Harry Potter.
So we're talking about the series. The books.
The book series. Oh, we're also recording this on the night of the midterm election, so I will
hope you went and voted. I did.
The polls here are closing in an hour and 15 minutes, so I will regularly be checking.
Yeah.
Well, it'll probably be done by the time.
Yeah.
We'll be done by the time they close, but yeah. Fate of the countries, and this is probably the most intense midterm election I've personally been alive for.
What are you doing over there?
I mean, most people didn't really give a shit before.
Yeah. But yeah, so today I will be rating the Harry Potter books in my personal order of how...
Top 7.
Which, okay, I do want to say, in no way do I dislike any of the books, okay? I just want to say that. By one being at number 7, I don't mean that I don't like that book. It just means it happens to not be my absolute favorite.
Or as good as the others.
The way that I kind of thought about the rating, because I was like, I couldn't really figure out how. So it's kind of which ones I'm likely to reread. Like, if I had them on front of me, which one would I grab first to reread? You know what I mean? Because I do that quite frequently. And what comes to mind, when somebody's like, oh, a favorite Harry Potter book, I know immediately what my number 1 is. And I know immediately what my number 2 and 3 are. And then the rest of them, I kind of was I had to think about it.
Similarly.
It's honestly, 4 of them are kind of technically one spot. And then the other 3 are my top 3. But I still rated them. That
was for me, for my next list of, I'm doing next week the Rocky movies in preparation we're doing this in preparation for Fantastic Beasts.
But I'm not ready to do the movies yet, because I know that is going to have to be a long ass episode, because I got lots to say about those.
And the Crimes of Grindlewald,
yes.
The new movie. And then next week we'll be doing the Rocky movies, which there are 7 of them as well. So
nice.
Similarly.
Now with the books, I really did try to keep the movies out of my mind, because I have always considered them 2 separate
Because you read the
series.
books after you'd seen a couple movies, right?
I had seen the first movie, and then I read the first book. And then I saw some more movies, and then I eventually read more books. I actually read the books out of order, and then I went back and reread them all in order. So I kind of think of them as 2 different entities entirely, because they are quite different.
Well, also
and I tried to keep the movies out of my head, but I'm sure some of it will spill in accidentally.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that there are only 7 because that means we can go in more into depth in some of them. And
also, I will say when we rate the movies, we will be rating by 8. We're not going to like mash up the 2 last ones
because those are very different in quality.
That would drag it to like the middle because one is vastly
spoilers.
better than the other.
What else was there? So yeah, next week is Rocky.
That's okay. And then I have to think of a list. I have a wedding that I'm in, and it's the weekend of my next one, so I got to figure out what I'm doing.
Yeah. I basically have mine figured out, except for what I'm going to do in the last week of November, but then...
You're going to do your top 10 Christmases.
No, I mean, I got to do something
Thanksgivings.
Non-TV or movie related, because that's basically how I'm going to finish out the year. Sorry, I was just covering my face for a sec. Yeah, because my next one's Rocky, and then whatever I'm going to do, and then Christmas movies. Then
Guys, I just wing it. We know that. I don't make plans, except for the one in October, because it was my only one.
Then movies of the year, and then video games of the year.
Yeah. So. You have chocolate on your finger.
That's not chocolate.
Ew.
Where?
On your fingertip. It was on your nail.
That's not
chocolate.
That's just
like chocolate.
Dirt.
Okay. Anyway, guys, sorry. But yes, this week it's something that I am.
Oh yeah,
passionate one about.
Now I'm gonna.
Why do you keep stopping me from trying to start my list?
Because this is the first time that we've ever gone into a list where I have preconceived my ranking.
Yeah.
How do you want me to do that? Do you want me to tell you now, at the end, or
at the end?
Each one, I'll say what.
No.
Mine is
after I finish, you can tell me. I can give flat out my list, and then you can give me yours, but then I'll give all my...
Yeah, that ruins this.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Do it afterwards. Okay, now stop stopping me from starting. Okay, so in number 7, and again, in no way does it mean that I dislike any of these. I am too excited about Harry Potter books. I love them too much, but I do have favorites. So number 7 is Goblet of Fire.
Oh, seriously?
Yes.
That's why I want to tell you what I rank. I
also want to say
while we're going.
I was also thinking about what age I was when I read each of these books. That did affect it a little bit.
True. My number 7 is probably...
Well, no, we're not talking about this. You're telling me at the end.
No, I was just literally going to tell you what mine was.
No, you're telling me afterwards how you would have ranked them. Okay. So, and I'm not going to give you explain the entire book. I'll just give you kind of the main plot points that happened and why it's not, higher.
Goblet of Fire is one of the best. This is categorically wrong.
Okay, well, it's number 7 in mine. Okay, well, here's the plot points. So it has the Triwizard Cup. I mean, technically the Quad Wizard Cup, because there were 4 of them. You have the World Quidditch World Cup. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I couldn't think of how to phrase that. It's Irish. I can't speak to you guys. Remember last week Dan was having a stroke? Yeah, that's a little bit of what's happening right now. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It was Ireland versus Bulgaria. It's also got dragons in it, and it's the first time that we actually meet Bill and Charlie, other than just the tales of them. So that's a definite plus, because they're 2 awesome characters. Charlie, I wish was in it more, but I like that he's just kind of I'm gonna go live with dragons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When did this one come out?
I honestly realized too late that I should have gotten when they were each published and released. But I kind of forgot to do that, guys. I'm so sorry.
July 2000. No, I was just wondering if it was impacted at all by 9/11 because of the terrorist attack at the beginning. So
I don't know.
No, it came out in 2000.
The Death Eater. The Death Eaters.
They're terrorists.
Yes, I know. I'm not saying that they're not. We get a lot of spew from Hermione. For them house elves. She gets really passionate in this one. It's when George and Fred create Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. It is when...
Really? It's that early?
Yes, because they leave a toffee at the Dursleys' house after they pick Harry up for the World Cup, and he eats it, and it makes his tongue blow up. Because when they get there, they've like they boarded up the fireplace, so the Weasleys are like, so Fred and George are like, yeah, fuck you. And it's great. So it's the first time that we were really told about Mad-Eye Moody, and then he obviously gets introduced. He's like mentioned in the beginning and then, shows up, but it's not really him, guys. It's Barty Crouch Jr. And then there's the ball with Hermione's purple dress. It's purple, guys.
I thought you said you weren't going to let the movies impact this.
I'm just stating something from the books
right now. It's basically purple in the movie.
Purple. No, it's not.
It's like a light pink, or it's like a dark pink, and then it has purple accoutrement. And
it's the first, big character death, like where we had gotten to know that character quite well. It wasn't just like this person died at this time. It was like Harry knew Cedric. He got to know him, and then he died. So it kind of kicked off the darker
That's
years.
That's why I think it's better.
Well, as a child, I had read the first two, and I loved the lightheartedness. And so, when I read this, I was younger, so it was just sad. And very
That's
dark.
what it's supposed to be.
I know.
So you're ranking it low because it's effective?
No, I'm ranking it because as a child, when I first read it, that's how I felt. I was upset with it, and I still am. What?
That doesn't seem like valid criticism to put it at last.
That's just why I didn't.
Okay.
I let you list your things.
List.
Also, there were a lot of new characters with the different schools, and that this is my why it's not higher. There were too many new people, and I couldn't keep track.
True, it does kind of turn into a Game of Thrones novel for a sec.
And I fucking hated I don't know why. I just thought that the mer people, I was like, why?
Victor Crumb is a pedophile.
That too. 17 and 14, yeah.
Yeah, because in the Wizarding World, that's an adult is 17, right?
Yeah, that's when you're of age. But yeah, so I guess when I first read it, I didn't like how dark it got. And I also hated how Ron and Harry were fighting for a good portion of it.
That happens in every book.
No, but it was annoying in this one because it was just so petty. And I was like, oh my God, grow the fuck up.
A span of 100 pages where they're not, none of the three of them are talking to each other.
But this was an actual one. It's an actual fight. And it was just stupid. It was really, Ron? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. I'm also, I guess I'm also annoyed that you don't actually see the squid when he's in the Black Lake. I feel like that would have been a cool centerpiece.
That would have been cool beans.
But I like the Triwizard Tournament personally in this one. I think the tasks are really interesting, especially I like the maze. I really don't like how it got butchered in the movie. I think there's a lot of cool.
No, I do love it.
And
it's just, I guess I prefer it when there isn't a... the Triwizard Tournament kind of made me forget about the main story of Harry Potter a little bit.
But it's also it's when Voldemort comes back.
Yeah.
It's pretty important.
Eventually we get to him, but he's kind of Harry's having his dreams and all, but
plus this book, when you really think about it, none of it makes sense. And it's not it's all fictional wizards and what is it the plan doesn't make sense. Barty Crouch Jr. was really, really trying to get him to win, so he would touch the port key that he made the cup when he could have made
he could have done it. He could have literally just got there and been hey, shaking his hand and had something in his hand or something.
Or be hey, anything. Harry, can you pick up that book for me?
Yeah.
He's gone.
And also we learned about the...
Wait, can you use port keys?
The what are they called? The 3 curses.
Can you use port keys inside
Hogwarts? No.
Okay, that could have been it. He was getting him outside of Hogwarts. But then again, he could have
They went on walks a lot, too.
Yeah, Hogsmeade.
Anyway,
you can apparate.
What are the unforgivable curses? Yeah, we learned about those. And those were scary
Cruciatus
to me as a child.
And then the Killing Curse.
Yeah, they were creepy to me. So I did not like that shit.
Did people have to report that? Or because when Harry uses his Patronus in book 5, the Ministry they have a record, an internet history of
that
his
they
wand.
started
Or does that stop
hating him
once you turn 17?
I think in the 5th one, when you're 17, they can't
track
Yeah.
what you do? Okay.
But also, I think that the reason that they were so, like, on Harry in the 5th one is because they were like,
yeah,
he's
no,
a
but like they
liar.
had like a log, like, oh, at exactly this time you did exactly this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm wondering if you do any of the Forbidden 3, if it like sends a flag up in the Ministry of Magic and they
don't know,
investigate
honey.
it, or does
Don't
someone
know.
have to like see it and
I
report
don't
it?
work there. I'm here. So number 6 is...
Sorry, I wasn't looking.
We were just speaking about it, actually.
The 5th?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, you know what? I could not take the angst. Normally, I love it, but not in this. He was too angsty the entire time. He was just such a little bitch. And also, Dumbledore was being a little bitch.
Yeah.
And also, we
but
get
that's
Umbridge,
also like
who's a little bitch, and also the worst
Umbridge is
character, like the best character to hate in anything that I've ever read.
she's arguably the best villain in the whole series.
That's why I just said she's the best character to hate.
And this is like her centerpiece.
Anyway, so in my plot points, I wrote, he acts like a little bitch. Harry, I love you. It starts off with a Dementor attack in
Little
like
whinging.
Muggle area with a big D involved.
The Virgin Harry versus the Chad Big D.
Even though the 6th one it seems to be like the most like teen. What the fuck are you doing?
Sorry, I was cleaning my headphones.
With my pen. What is wrong with you?
Sorry, they had grossness on them.
So I'm gonna put ink in your ears?
Yeah,
Ew.
that's what all the cool kids are doing
disgusting.
nowadays.
So even though the 6th one is considered to be like the most like teen like fun one, but like
Fully fledged teenager.
like teen like novel, but this one is like so gossipy and rumory. You know what I mean? There's so much gossip surrounding whether or not Voldemort is back or not, and everyone's talking behind Harry's like back and everyone's back. Excuse me, and I have Voldy back. Is he? He is. Spoiler. The DA forms Dumbledore's army, which is it's nice.
It's amazing. This
is
is one of the
amazing.
best books.
I'm not saying that it's bad.
It's so good.
I'm just saying I have other reasons that I love
But it's
other
like
books even more.
better than other ones.
For you.
Plus, it's like, it's really shocking. Like, with, oh yeah, fucking spoiler alert, sorry.
Yeah, that's in one of my why it's not higher.
What?
Same thing. Again, Harry's having a whole lot of nightmares and his scar is hurting, and he's being shown images of people that like he loves being like tortured, and it eventually does in fact trick him into going to the Ministry of Magic.
True, Harry is exceptionally dumb in this book.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
Bellatrix is just a full-fledged
Is this the one where they go to
bitch.
St. Mungo's, or is that the 6th?
That's in the... Ooh, shit. When they meet Alice and Frank?
Yeah. Alice,
I think that's the 5th.
And also,
It's the
what's his
5th
face?
because when Harry and Neville are like left alone and they're talking about his parents and how his parents would have been proud of him, and Harry
Oh,
like,
yeah.
remembering
Yeah.
when he met them, which is also really
But also
sad.
this one has like the first like real love interest for Harry.
Oh my god, I hated her. Again, Cho Chang.
No, that's the 4th. That's the 4th, never mind.
Well, no, because she's
Oh,
with
there's
Cedric.
a truck beeping.
Oh, no, because she's with Cedric, so he just has a crush in that one, but he actually goes on like an awful date with her in this one, and it's just, it is. Oh my god, I hated it so much because I didn't like her.
That part pissed me off.
And it has nothing to do with like me being like, of course, like I want like Harry and Ginny together in the end, because Cho is just annoying.
And also, you didn't know that Ginny was like into Harry at that point. Wow, that truck is really going
Every
at
time
it.
it like talked
Apologies.
about her, it was like she blushed. And she saw me.
But also
or,
this
like
one
she
has,
like
like,
stopped blushing because she was like trying so hard. But like I just couldn't stand her.
The best Quidditch in it. Like, it has like the best, because it has what?
Go on.
It has Ron becoming the king.
No.
Yes, it's in this book.
Is that in this one, Weasley's
And then they
okay?
changed it in the movie to the 6th
It
instead.
was.
It was in the 5th book that happened. It has Ron being the new keeper. It has Harry punching Draco in the stomach.
Yeah.
while holding on to the snitch at the same time as an extra FU.
But that's just
It also
all
has-
Quidditch.
It has the...
I can't judge the books based on just the Quidditch.
Yeah, but it also has Fred and George's escape.
Okay.
That's not escape, just them leaving.
Peacing out.
Yeah, true. There was a good amount extraneously focused on the OWLs.
Thank you.
Owls.
So are you not judging me? Like, are you judging
No,
me?
I think it's still better than a lot of the other books.
Okay, yes, but this is my list.
True.
Not yours.
But also, that's the point of the,
The reason
show.
it's
is
not
for us
higher
to-
is because reading
this
this
back and forth.
reading this as a teen, I truly hated Umbridge. And while I'm like, when I say that, I mean like it was good that I hated her. Like she is like the one character that I'm like, she has no redeeming qualities. Like she's written very well to be just universally hated by everyone who's read the books. I know no one who read the books and is like, you know who my fucking favorite character is? Who's like, she can be redeemed. Like, no. It's because she's a lawful evil.
Umbridge.
Fudge was a little bitch in this one. And then also, Sirius, he, spoiler, died. So I was very sad.
Fudge?
Sirius.
Oh.
I said Fudge was a little bitch.
Oh, shit. I forgot to mention.
So, yes, and I know that you were going to say, like, oh, but it has, like, one of, like, the best, like, deaths, like, the most important. But that's one of the reasons that it's low is because it hurt so bad.
Plus, as a child, I mean,
It was very upsetting.
I read the first two, well, had the books read to me because I couldn't read. First two books, I
And
think,
he still
before I
can't,
saw
guys.
the movies. And then after that, I was just reading them, like, as they more or
Yes,
less
and you have to
came
remember
out.
that I was seeing the movies and reading the books, like, within, like, each other. So, obviously, without me, like, realizing it, the movies impacted, like, the books, like, no matter what.
The fifth was also the only one that I went
If I
to
didn't
a
want them to.
midnight release for because that was the only one.
I went to the midnight movie premiere of the last
Because guess what?
5 of them.
In England,
Wow, I was young.
I was in England for the release of 6 and 7,
That's
and
nice.
none of the local bookshops were having midnight
Yeah,
releases.
because that's a very American thing to do.
True.
Okay, anywho.
I was going to mention in Goblet of Fire, that was the one that she got accused of plagiarism for.
Who?
J.K. Rowling.
Oh, okay.
Because some series of books about some wizard kid.
Competition?
No. I think it had something to do with the competition, but not really. But no,
Okay,
it was
guys.
literally because he used some magic egg that worked in a bath. And the main character of that book took had a bath with his egg, and it like spoke to him or something.
Whispered
So
to
she
him?
got accused of plagiarism, and she was like, "I've never heard of this. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
so-
no one's heard of this."
Anyway, even though Sirius's death like made like the book like so much more like impactful, it made me just upset and I got sad.
But we also get to see some good leadership skills from Harry in that one.
Yeah. Again, I am not saying in any way
Okay.
that I dislike them.
Oh yeah.
Stop
okay.
being so upset when it's not your order. I told you, everyone has a different order. Everyone likes them differently. Some people could literally like them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's the
There are
order
people out there that feel that way.
of the Phoenix.
Okay, well, number 5 is Half-Blood Prince.
Okay.
Because it went from being so dark to almost too light.
Are you just thinking of the movies? Because
No,
I mean, the
I'm thinking
book's
of the
pretty
books.
dark
And
too.
I do love this book. Yeah, but it just also kind of like, I don't know, for me it just veered off a little
True,
bit.
it's like
'Cause
very romancy.
when
as
I get
well.
to my why it's not higher, there's a one very big reason.
Okay.
Because okay. So Voldemort is like officially back and tearing shit up. Draco's a Death Eater? There's an unbreakable vow? I don't know. Yes, there is. What else? We learn about Horcruxes, which, like that's good to learn about. We understand so much more. There's Slughorn comes back and you get the delightful Slug Club, which
Do you think that Jim
was
Broadbent
so
was
boring.
a good casting of that character in the movie?
no.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him.
He's a good
so
actor,
much.
but
I love him.
he's too likable. Like Jim
Yeah.
Broadbent is too likable as a person.
He made him like adorable almost.
Yeah.
Slughorn is supposed to be like he's supposed to be like that guy that just
Like that annoying teacher or professor who like clearly has favorites and like doesn't even hide it.
And also his favorites are all have like connections, like they like know somebody like so cool, like they're related. So it's like, so just
Except
because,
for Lily.
yeah, but that's because she was a genius. She was exceptional at potions. Okay. It's like a fact about her that her and Snape both were.
She and Snape.
Shut up. Anyway, he's just supposed to be kind of like an awful guy that just uses other people to like get ahead in life. But he's good at potions, at least. At least he's good at
Slytherin.
Yeah,
so.
He's head of Slytherin. He was when he used to work there, and he is now.
What can you expect?
And his slug club is just awful. But like, go Ginny for getting in there. You know, good for her. All because she hexed someone on a train.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, fucking like that shit. That's the one that I respect. That's the one choice that I'm like, yeah, she deserved that.
Well, and Hermione, too. She wasn't really connected. Or was that more because she was friends with Harry?
Yeah, and then he discovered that how smart she was. Okay. Harry, like, kind of mentioned that, like, he was like, oh, my friend Hermione, like, he says, oh, when they're on, like, the train going to Hogwarts, he mentions how his best friend is a, what's it called? Muggleborn, thank you. I honestly forgot. Muggleborn, and she's like the brightest one of their year, so then he gets all interested in her.
Bitch of her age.
And so then he gets interested in her. It isn't until Harry is like, well, actually, my friend.
But I will give this book one thing. It has a very, very accurate portrayal of what it feels like to find a textbook that someone else has written all the answers in, because that is based when that happened.
But also I was like disappointed in Harry because I'm like, not because like, I mean, if I had like a bunch of like notes there, but I was like, dude, clearly this like there's some dark shit in here. Why are you not like being like, Dumbledore, excuse me, like, dude, like I understand for a little bit, but he let it go on for too long.
Yeah.
He disappointed me. And also, I know that they were really important, but I did get bored when I was like reading the chapters where him and Dumbledore were like having their talks were going on. It was kind of boring.
Yeah.
It was like the first half of the 7th book.
The first half, I mean, it's good.
Don't worry, we're not at the 7th one yet. Yeah. Because, okay, so why it's not higher? One, it's post-serious. A delightful character, and we don't have him anymore. Too much Quidditch?
Well.
That's why I was wondering. And also, okay, so Lavender fucking Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I didn't have any, like, she was just annoying. Like, she just, like, annoyed me deep to my core because it's like everyone knew a girl that was just, like, obnoxious like that. So it felt personal.
What, obnoxious about who they were dating?
No, and just like, she just like, I just always pictured like some, like just like the like loud, obnoxious girl in your class that is, everyone's always like, oh my God, just like, shut up.
We didn't have one of those in my class.
Wow.
Unless it was me.
It was you. You were the loud, obnoxious girl.
No,
you were also the girl who liked horses.
I didn't like, I mean, horses, I don't dislike
yeah,
horses.
so Lavender Brown is one of the reasons in Ron's whole relationship.
Are you saying Lavender Brown's a horse girl?
Yes. Plus no, Cho Chang is. Cho Chang is definitely a horse girl.
Oh, no, her thing's a swan. No, Ginny's the horse girl.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so, and I hated her relationship with Ron. I thought it made Ron annoying too.
Well, it's supposed to.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, also the whole...
I know it had its effect on me, and I didn't like it.
The whole mystery surrounding the Half-Blood Prince is like really pronounced in the book, and also it's like it makes Harry kind of question himself.
Yes, but I don't like the Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah, I know, but it makes him question because he obviously starts to identify with the writer of the book, and then he finds out the name. It's like, oh, well, maybe I've been thinking wrong about this, like,
and then
wrong my whole life.
He goes and
kills Dumbledore. He kills him.
I know,
he does not kill him.
I know.
But then I was saying in the movie, it's kind of brushed over. It's like, oh yeah, I was the Half-Blood Prince. You're like, oh, fuck,
but like
yeah,
I said, the book just really annoyed me. So yeah. But yeah. So there's that.
Plus, this one was kind of low ranked on mine because it kind of feels like in
Guys,
book
I'm gonna
form.
open the soda real quick. Excuse me.
In book form, it feels like one of those like filler Marvel movies that's so obviously or like actually a lot of the Marvel movies handle that kind of well. It's kind of more like Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, where it's like so obviously just building up to something else. It builds up to the seventh book, which is amazing.
It did a good job building up to the finale. It's just...
It's a lot of setting the scene for stuff to
Harry
pay off in the
and Ginny do
next
get
book.
together in it, which is delightful, but she also dates Dean Thomas for a while, and, like, I love you, Dean, but... Like, I wanted them to be together really badly, and he kind of got in the way of it, you know what I mean? And Ron was being such an ass to her because, like, she was, like, making out with him, and she was like, you... Like, what the fuck, dude? Shut up. And so, yeah, there were just, like, I think it was a lot of, like, the relationships in this book that just kind of angered me.
Yeah, and too much focus on them.
And also, there were so many, like, just paragraphs of Harry being like, Draco's a Death Eater. Like, I know it. And it was like, yes, we know. And he probably is. But my God, talk about something else.
Well, when Harry gets his teeth into something.
He doesn't go to a fucking Quidditch match because he wants to follow Draco.
And he's the
He played in one game that entire season. Yet there was still a lot of Quidditch. But they did win the cup, so go them.
Wait, who was the backup seeker?
I think Ginny. No. Yeah, Ginny ended up being the seeker in the...
Yeah.
Excuse me, in the final game, and then they won, and then he gets to, like, the party, and then that's when they make out, and Ron's like... Okay, you do that.
Yeah.
Also, Ron really upset Hermione in this one. And she doesn't deserve that. Her parents are dentists. Okay, number 4 is Chamber of Secrets. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I put it lower on mine, but...
Okay. Big plot points. There's a diary with Tom Riddle. Ooh, who is he? Who is he? It's Voldemort, guys. Okay, I will say, one of the dumbest things in this book is that we learn that Voldemort's name is Tom Marvolo Riddle, and then we find out that he was...
Wait, like, some people have...
I am Lord Voldemort. Well, like the...
Figured out what other things it could spell.
There's like an entire like list online of like different names. Are you looking it up right now? Of just
I will look that
different
up.
ways that you could rearrange the letters in Tom Marvolo Riddle. And I'm sorry, like, it was just so stupid. But then I was like, so one day did she just think of like that name? And then she was like, all right, now I gotta think of a really fucking cool villain name to come out of this. She got Voldemort. Sorry, I am Lord Voldemort. You can't even just say his name. He has to have the I am.
There's
That's nobody's name.
Lord Earldom Vomit,
Yep.
Motor Marvel Dildo, Immortal Love Rod, Metal Dildo Mover.
And
Sorry,
the list
Mortal
goes on.
Dildo Mover.
And the list goes on.
Let me see if there's any other good ones.
No.
Tom, or Marvel Dildo.
Stop. Okay, no more. Ginny gets possessed.
Oh yeah, sorry. The issue was when it was translated into other languages, they had to change its name to have that same review.
So Ginny gets possessed, which is really sad, guys.
Je suis Voldemort.
A lot of students are getting petrified by something. Even a cat.
They think it might be
petrified?
spiders.
But it's not.
How could a spider petrify something?
Oh my god,
without there
wait,
being
I didn't
bite
write down Aragog.
Aragog.
Which
Yo,
reading
Aragog.
that scared the shit out of me.
My children.
Yeah. And I just wanted to like slap Hagrid and be like, why the fuck would you send them in there? Boy.
Boy.
We get Lockhart.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
What a babby boy. What a little shit. What I don't like about him is, the obvious, how he stole other people's stories and like erased their memories, but also like he kept putting Harry into like the spotlight, and Harry does not like being in the fucking spotlight, so I felt bad for him for that. But Lockhart is in fact fabulous. He's so fabulous, and all the girls had crushes, and I bet you most of the boys too.
That was some good casting in the movie. Overall, the movies are really well cast, and he was particularly great.
Maybe not. There's one casting in like the current series that I would change a little bit.
Yeah. You don't have to be coy about it. We all know
Johnny Depp.
that Johnny Depp sucks.
So, one of the reasons why it's not higher is because I am very scared of snakes, and there's a basilisk. And honestly, reading about it was scary for me as a child.
That. I mean,
because I was a child when I read this one.
But also, I mean, I've always been into
guys.
Monsters and freaky shit, so I liked being scared by.
For an 8 or 9-year-old, I just did not like that shit.
I was like, what? 6?
So I didn't read the first 2 until after I saw the first movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it creeped me out. It creeped me out lots. And I didn't like it. Was cool. But yeah, I think just like
there's a phone vibrating.
I will answer it later. But yeah, so overall, it's like the middle. It's the middle one.
Although, like, I don't know why she chose basilisk as the name for it, because if you look like at what a basilisk is in like any other kind of folklore, it's I think a giant chicken with like a snake's tail, and you get it by putting a snake egg under a chicken, like, and having it incubate that. So they're pretty lame.
That chicken ass on it. That's how it works.
Something like that.
But yeah. So again, it's like a middle one. Like, I loved it, but I didn't love it. You know what I mean? Do you feel me?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, the OG, Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone.
As it is known outside of the northern United States. Sorry, just the United States in general.
As a child, it was just like, it was such a whimsical book.
Yeah. I mean, and it's breezy. It's like, what, like 200
Easy, breezy,
pages?
beautiful.
It's really short in comparison to all the other ones.
Sorry, I was thinking of their hair in the 4th movie.
But you got to appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah. So it starts off with a babby boy defeating old Voldy. And then he gets a scar, not from a crocodile.
Nice, Raph.
Thank you. Finds out that Voldemort or somebody, Quirrell, is looking for the Sorcerer's Stone made by Nicholas Flamel.
Or Philosopher's.
Dumbledore worked with him on making it.
It's kind of funny how it was called Philosopher's Stone, and then they changed it in the U.S. because they thought people wouldn't think it was interesting, or that they didn't think people would know what a philosopher was in the U.S.
Wow, did they think they were that stupid?
And that sorcerer sounds more mystical.
We're not that stupid.
Which it does. Honestly, if the Philosopher's Stone wasn't an already established piece of folklore around the world, then I would say, objectively, Sorcerer's Stone sounds cooler and sounds more enticing and more...
Like, the story of Nicholas Flamel is... It's a story. Like,
yeah, I'm saying, and it's called the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah,
I'm saying if that
people
wasn't
know it,
a thing, then Sorcerer's
then
sounds
of course
cooler.
Change it. But yeah, no, I think it would have been fine either way. I mean, I don't even know, like, when, like, I learned that there were 2 different, like, names in, like, different, like, places. It was just kind of like, oh,
I knew pretty early on. I think we had a
that's
copy
because
of
your family's from England, and that's where you had the
Philosopher. We have
your copies of the books are from.
We have that copy in our
That's
apartment.
why it says things instead of sweater. It says jumper.
Yeah, and in England they also released 2 versions of every book. They released the child's edition and the adult's edition. The child has bigger text. There's no actual differences in the story or text at all, but the child's one's just easier to read for kids.
Yeah. Another thing is we have Quirrell, and it always, like, freaked me out just thinking of, like, a person on the back of somebody's head. And now the movie did a good job of that. But in my head, what I was picturing when, like, I, like, read the book afterwards, more of, like, what Star Kid did in the Harry Potter musical. Just like a full
man.
Just a man on the back. Yeah.
It doesn't say that anywhere in the book, though.
And that just, it made me giggle. Because that's what I think, like, I first imagined when he was, like, taking off. And so, yeah. So it made me giggle. Just, like, that's what I pictured. And then when Star Kid did that, I was like, what the fuck?
I remember
they did it.
The Lego of him was pretty cool. Because, like, that was one of the first I ever saw that had 2 faces on it. Because before then, they only did the whole, like, switching faces thing semi-recently in terms of all of Lego. Yeah. But yeah, that was a good one.
And obviously one of the main things about the book is the golden trio is formed. The friendship starts that will never fade. It's beautiful. It's
got
wonderful.
Hermione, brains, Harry, leader,
Bravery.
courage, whatever.
Courage.
Ron, connection to the wizarding world, which
And he's
they
got his wits. Ron is
really
not stupid.
detracted him up in the movies.
So the thing is, I know that, like, people think that Ron and Harry are, like, dumb sometimes. Harry is just unobservant, okay?
And also Harry
And Ron isn't stupid. Like, he became a prefect. Sorry. Like, he's clearly not stupid. He just comes off as,
he's kind of lazy.
dim.
Neither of them just apply themselves as much as Hermione does. But also Ron really functions as, while Hermione knows about the Wizarding World, he's experienced it, and he just knows more about it just naturally than she does. And like his explanations and his connections really, really help them in a lot of places because she just knows about like book uses for things.
She's
and
the
he's
logic.
like, oh yeah, well my dad does this with et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So and then they
but it was just, it's a beautiful friendship that formed. I think it's a,
like, isn't he the one in that book that figures out or tells them that they need to use light to get rid of the devil snare?
yeah,
or,
they
like,
changed
use
it
your
because they
wand?
wanted to only make Hermione like the smartest one.
Thanks, Chris Columbus.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if it's in the first movie. I can't remember which book it's in, but when like Snape is like calls her an insufferable know-it-all, instead of being like, he's like, you asked a question, she knew the answer, like, why are you punishing her? And I was just like, yes, book Ron. I love Rupert Grint, and I think he did a good job. He did a great job. But book Ron was like not an asshole at all, really. Like, yeah, of course he had his like shitty moments like they all did, but like
He was the one.
he was a good person and he defended his friends.
The thing about them is that each of them, if they weren't in Gryffindor, each of them would have been in one of the other houses pretty obviously.
Yeah. Harry, Slytherin, Hermione, Ravenclaw, Ron, Hufflepuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, boy.
So he's like the friendliest of the three of them. Like he's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes
And like and also
they give him too much
supposed to
snark
be-
in the movies sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's Harry's thing.
but yeah, Harry is very unobservant. Harry, like, I don't know how he did anything. If he didn't have the two of them, he would have been just dead. Like, he would have died so early on.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
God. He's an idiot. But yeah, it's not hard.
It's
It's a
all
short
about
book.
friendship.
When I reread it, I would like it to last longer, honestly. So it's a short book, which makes sense because it's the first one.
And it's for like little
also,
kids.
when I go back and like reread, I like going back to some of the other ones because like I know like each of like the main like characters so well, but like the first one, like you like have to like you're getting to know them. It takes
It's like
some
watching
time.
the first episode of a TV show before it's like fully fledged. Like the first
While
season
you
of
love
Parks
it
and Rec.
and you always love the first episode, it's a little bit like difficult to go back and watch because you're kind of like, oh, well, why don't they already know this about him? Like, why don't they already know that she can do like that or like whatever? So it's like I love rereading it, but
yeah,
at the same time,
I get you.
Yeah. All right. Number 2, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Good.
What a great book. Great book. So, we get Remus. I always say Remus. I know. And Sirius.
Werewolf McWerewolf. Because the name is literally Wolf. Wolf Boy Wolf. That's his name. Like, in terms of, like, what both of his names mean.
We get the Marauders map. What a delightful creation.
How the fuck did they know how to use it?
Well, in the books. Who? Fred and George?
Yeah.
Well, they're smart boys. They figure
It's a very specific phrase you have to do. Do you think that they were just arguing one night and like he's like, "Why are you leaving?" And then what? Like,
No, I think
George
like an
is
old
like,
painting told them.
I solemnly like he's like, "You're not." He's like, "You're leaving. You're not doing anything. You're not pulling a prank. You're just leaving our bedroom." And he just goes, "I solemnly swear I'm up to no good." And it just like flips open, and they're both like, "Oh, fuck."
I like to think, because I honestly don't remember if they explain like how, but I like to think that since so many of the paintings have been there for years at Hogwarts, I'm sure that the actual Marauders were idiots sometimes. We're just like standing in front of like paintings and like set it and opened it. So I'm like, maybe they had it and one of the paintings was like, oh yeah, I know how to open
Lupin
that.
just saw that they had it and he passed them a note surreptitiously.
But yeah, and then also we learn about what I wish there was a spin-off book series of, the Marauders and Lily. Like, we learned why Snape is such a little bitch towards Harry. We learned why he hates him, valid or not, you know? Because you shouldn't hate a kid because you didn't like their parent. I'm sorry, but we learned why. You know what I mean?
True. I mean, but you learn the bulk of that in the 5th book.
Yes, but Harry sees flashbacks like then too. He sees the day at the lake where like Lily is like screaming at James, and then Snape comes in, calls her a mudblood, and it's awful.
Yeah, in the 5th book.
You learn some of that. There's some scenes of flashbacks in the 3rd one, because you learn about them. You learn about werewolves in this one. Dan, I know that's a plus for you. You learn so much more about werewolves. Yeah, you might have known that they were in the universe, but we get one.
True. I mean,
we learn more about the anime guy.
Do.
Because even though we know that McGonagall is one, you just like learn more. You learn more about them in this one, and I find them fascinating. I think it's a very interesting talent to have.
This reminds me again of the movie with the bloody hell. Thank you for that assessment, Mr. Weasley.
You get Wormtail / Scabbers.
Yeah, I mean, anime guy are very cool. Not to be a furry or anything, but also
he is.
The punishment for being...
He's wearing a fursuit
I think that the punishment for being an unregistered animagus...
Oh, it's fucked up.
...is a little bit too extreme. Is literally life imprisonment. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
For doing not nearly as bad as a lot of other things that you could be doing. You just decided to become a furry. It's furry prosecution. That's what it is. They're kink
If only we could do it here. No, guys, I'm so sorry. So sorry if any of you are furries. I just don't appreciate what you do, but you shouldn't go to jail for it.
For life. It's not even like they get like 5 years. It's for life.
And anyway,
sorry, I'm a little gassy.
Yeah, and he keeps whispering to me.
I farted.
But yeah, so I don't even know what I was talking about. Anime guy.
Yeah. What would your animagith be? Well, I guess it's whatever your...
out. Oh no, it's my Patronus. Right?
Isn't it what your Patronus is?
99% of the time, yes.
So yours would be a dragonfly?
Yes.
And mine would be a fox.
I'd love to be a dragonfly. I could just buzz, buzz, buzz.
You'd be like Hariter Skeeter.
Just a beetle.
A bee.
A beetle, bitch.
She's a Beetleborg. Do you remember the Beetleborgs?
No.
Oh my god, okay. It was like this weird spin-off from Power Rangers, kind of, except it was like way more magical, and there were these 3 kids, and then they like go to this house, and they're like a ghost and like a mummy and like Frankenstein's monster in there, but then they turn into these things called like the super something Beetleborgs, the big bad Beetleborgs. That's what they were.
So interesting.
Sorry. I just remembered that. I remembered that there was like this videotape that I would always rent, and it was like the first 3 episodes of the show, and it was not as good as Power Rangers, but you know how it is.
Do you agree that Prisoner of Azkaban should be this high up on the list? It's number 2.
On mine, it...
Because I think it's a good one.
Mine...
And it was like... that's when like the books started to get like longer, because the first 2 were generally like the same length.
Yeah, I'll give it that. And I mean, it starts to go dark in this one.
Yeah, because they knew that people who were reading it were like aging with the book, so it's like, of course, the first 2 were meant for a younger audience, and that audience is growing up too.
But also, it doesn't introduce time travel to the story. Oh shit, you forgot one of the books.
I'm at number 2, honey.
You forgot one of them.
No, I didn't.
There's 8 now, Jess.
What? Oh, I'm not talking about that shit. Dan wants me to talk about The Cursed Child.
I'm sure it's fine on stage, but reading it,
I've heard
god
it's
damn,
wonderful
it was
on
bad.
stage, but
It's such a dumb story.
Okay, let's not talk about that.
Anyway, no, I was going to say it introduced time travel to something that previously did not have time travel, and that can sometimes be universe breaking, as it is in Cursed Child. They recently did that with Star Wars too. They introduced time travel in Star Wars Rebels. Yes, time travel in Star Wars is just doesn't mix very well, because then you can just go back and be like, okay, I'm going to save Alderaan.
We're not talking about Star Wars right now.
I'm going to tell everybody that Emperor Palpatine is Emperor Palpatine before he rises to power. I'm going to stop the production of the clones.
Guys, I'm really sorry. I might have to quit again.
Sorry, I
Okay.
have to bring up Star Wars or Marvel contractually, otherwise
No.
Disney won't pay me.
Let's go on. Is there anything else in this book that you particularly like stands out for you?
Dementors, I like them a lot.
They were terrifying.
And the first appearance of the
And
Patronus
they
is cool.
affected Harry hella more than everyone else.
Yeah, I really liked their look. I was always into the monsters, I guess. I was considering, if you weren't going to do this, I was considering next week doing my
monsters of Harry
top
Potter?
10 Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Would a Niffler be in there?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And number 1 is the Deathly Hallows because it has its flaws, but overall,
Hard agree.
now one of my points that I have is this: crying. That's what I did when I read this book. I cried from the beginning to the end. I read it in an afternoon and I sobbed. Even when people weren't dying. It's because, I don't know, maybe an owl died and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Maybe Moody did and I couldn't stop thinking. My God, it hurt so bad. Now I will say, the camping. I know that people don't like the 7th Part 1 movie, but the camping, reading it was somehow like...
It was interesting.
It was
and it was
easier,
like,
and there was more. They had more of the... why can't I think of like the word, like the scavengers, like the assholes.
yeah, and also they did a better job.
It made a lot more
I
sense
think,
when they showed up.
in the book of always making it seem like no matter where they went, even though the tagline of the movie was "Nowhere is safe," in the book it was like literally they could be found at any time and murdered.
But they were able
particularly-
to find like safe places.
Personally, a very effective part of that book for me was when they went to the Bathilda Bagshot's house. I thought that was so creepy
that
and
was
so
so
well
tense
done.
reading.
Yeah, and very intense.
Oh.
I like the idea of
I was
just like
tense for a lot of this book.
Harry and Hermione being in the upstairs of this house and Voldemort coming through the front door as they were like
Yeah,
trying to blast
Like
out, and there was a huge freaking snake taking up the entire room,
It was-
basically.
I was so tense reading a lot of this book, so I was crying it while tense. It was uncomfortable for everyone. Nobody was there with me, actually. I was in my room, but I think it was just written very well, and while many people that I loved died, I know that they died because otherwise another character would have had to, just to like kind of even it out.
It doesn't have to be like that. That's not how writing works.
Mr. Weasley was a possibility.
Yeah, but I'm saying you don't have to equalize
I know.
everything. Lord of the Rings
but-
got away with just killing one guy.
So everyone dies. They're searching for the Horcruxes. But I think now the movie fucked this up so badly. What I loved about the ending of the book was that Voldemort was just another body in the pile of dead people. Well, they moved him to like a different area, but he was just a person.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell fucking yeah. And then the movie fucked that over. Also, Mrs. Weasley used the killing curse because she was protecting her children and she was in full mama bear mode. And I was like, yes,
Her Patronus
bitch,
is a
don't
panda.
touch her daughter, bitch.
Her Patronus is a panda
Yes.
because of her motherly instincts.
Yes.
That's why I think maybe your Patronus would be a panda.
My actual
really.
one, not
Yeah.
my just like the one time I took a
Because
test.
that test is flawed.
And everyone said that when they took it more than once, they got a different one every
yeah.
time.
I got Fox more than once, but I got other stuff like in
How many
between.
times did you fucking take it?
I just took it multiple times because like, okay.
Really? But it's not like the house test. Because
Yeah.
I've taken the house test 4 times and I've gotten Hufflepuff every time. And hey, I accepted it the first time. I just wanted to know.
When it comes to measures, at least in the terms of the psychological world, which this test was, it's a personality test, you need to have validity and dependability. You can't have validity
magical
without dependability.
Spell. It's not real.
I'm just telling you, explaining this because it's a good a good educational moment. So
For
the
who?
reason for anybody listening, the reason it's not valid is because you can take it more than once and get multiple questions because it gives you different questions every time, therefore threatening its validity and its dependability, because you cannot repeat and get the same results every time.
I don't even know my login to
Pottermore
anymore.
Yeah.
If I took
What'd you
I could
get
make a
as,
new one and I could do a new login. And
Would you
know
get
what I'll
as your American house? I didn't really care that much about what mine was.
I don't
Were you
remember.
Puckwudgie?
I don't remember.
Horned serpent?
I wasn't that. But
I got
anyway,
Thunderbird.
so about the 7th book, I thought it tied up almost all of like the loose ends. I can't really think of any that were left, but I know that there were just like a few that it was like, well, what about? But wait, what about?
You mean it wasn't like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which ended with Zuko going to visit his dad, and he's like, "Where is my mother?" And then they didn't have a show.
Dan, talking about this series, okay?
Avatar's really good though.
Okay. Anyway, so I don't know. It just like it felt like a very good finish. Like there's some series of books that I've read where like the final book I was kind of like I was left wanting like a lot more. Whereas this one, I wasn't.
I think, yeah, I can't really think of any threads that were left.
It made... It was just so good. Like all the students who were like rebelling and just like living in the oh my god.
Ooh, there's some people having fun outside.
Oh, they singing. Anyway, that we're staying in the room of requirement, like hiding out. We meet Aberforth. Fucking Dumbledore's brother?
Yeah.
What?
Plus, how many smut fan fictions do you think there are that are set the night after the Battle of Hogwarts?
Please stop. You get Bill and Fleur's wedding.
Yeah, that's what opens it.
Well,
is this the one? Wait, is it this one?
That isn't what opens it. They first are leaving.
Yeah, they've that. And then, oh, yeah, I guess.
They're leaving first, and then... They get there, and then it's like there's several chapters where they are at the burrow preparing for the wedding. Is it
Half-Blood Prince or Deathly Hallows where Harry wakes up and Fleur is sitting on his bed and he's like, where the fuck did you come from?
Not that one. Not, it was in the 6th, I believe.
6th? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's in the beginning of the book.
Yeah. 6th. Wait, no, it's not the 6th. It might be the 5th. It's not the 7th or the 6th. Those are the two that I've reread the most. Even though 6th is farther back on my list, but I've reread them the most.
But he doesn't go to the burrow, and maybe it was in the 5th. I don't know.
He goes to the burrow in both of them.
In the 5th? No, in the beginning.
In the 6th and the 7th. Oh.
In the beginning.
The 5th one, he starts at the burrow.
No, they go to
Grimmauld Place.
Yeah.
Huh. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I've always wondered.
It's Grimmauld Place, basically.
Okay. But anyway, so yes, we had Bill and Fleur's wedding, so that was delightful, and during that, Harry learned more about Dumbledore, and he, like, didn't know him as well as he thought from some friends of his.
Yeah, and they disguise him as a relative.
Yes.
A distant relative. Oh, and you get Victor Crumb coming back.
Coming back, asking if Hermione's single, and Ron's like...
She is spoken for.
Excuse me. And then, but it is kind of funny because like Harry's like checking out Ginny, but it's like, dude, you're supposed to be your cousin right now. Stop that. Stop it.
Ooh, there's definitely some inbreeding to keep.
Shut up.
Not necessarily within the Weasleys, but to keep bloodlines pure with like people who care about it.
That is like that's like a fact. That's a fact that the older houses definitely did that. But obviously the Weasleys didn't give a fuck. At least the current Weasley family. Their Aunt Muriel probably was a part of that.
Ew.
She's a little bitch. Well, she's like older and she's very much more like...
I mean, this book has a lot of great parts.
We meet Tonks' parents.
It has the infiltration
Ted
of...
and I can never say it.
Andromeda?
Andromeda, yes. Ted Tonks.
Yeah, the infiltration of Gringotts. You've got...
Oh my god, yes.
Dobby's subsequent death. You've got...
Falling in love with Creature. He became like an actual good, like... person, like whatever, and then we didn't know what was happening to him for like a while, and then he showed up at the battle, but like they were supposed to go back to him. The whole
battle of Hogwarts.
Like, oh my god, reading when it was
like the last third
after they escaped the Ministry, and they had to like go to the forest immediately because the Ministry worker / Death Eater had like grabbed onto Hermione. I just remember like there's like a line that like Harry was like, I hope like Creature is okay. He was like making like dinner for us like before we left, like, oh my god. And I was like, I didn't mean to care, and now I do.
Yeah,
and I still do. Oh, and Winky and Hokey. Oh,
it's just wild to think that a lot of that book is set like over the course of a few months, and then like the entire last third is like 2 days. Oh
yeah. Well, that's why also movie wise, the the final two. The second one people loved even more because it was like the pacing was like...
yeah, it's literally one day.
It's great.
They start their day...
The escape, and then, oh my god.
Getting up to infiltrate Gringotts, and it just
the battle
keeps
starts
going.
at night.
Yeah.
It's like 1 a.m.
Yep.
Because they have to wake everyone up from bed. Yeah. Also, what else was I going to say?
May 2nd, 1998? Was it?
I think so. But yeah, and just like so much happens. So many sad things. Also, they left out in the movie about how the man who killed the Grey Lady was the Bloody Baron, and that's why he wears the chains.
Yeah. Yeah.
They left that out in the movie.
I mean, they also left out Peeves.
They also left out the Fat Friar, Hufflepuff's house ghost.
No, he's in the first movie.
He flies through the fucking Great Hall, and that's it. Does he even get a name? Does he even get... And the
I
Bloody
mean, as
Baron
a child, you can identify that as a fat monk or something.
Yeah, but would you ever be like, oh, he is the...
The Fat Friar, the patron saint of Hufflepuffs.
Yeah, he's fabulous.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that I hated was we never got to go to... They never showed Nearly Headless Nick's Death Day party. What a sad moment. Sorry, there's so much that like was missing. Though, okay, I'm going to say one reason why every single book could have been improved. Something was missing. Dan, do you know what?
The tea.
The tea?
Are you about to spill the tea?
Oh, I was just going to say, do you know what I wish was in every single book that was missing? He was a big help, actually, in... Well, not a big help, I don't know what I'm saying, but he sort of helped in the Battle of Hogwarts. Peeves.
I said Peeves.
When?
I said that, like, you just also said book, not movie. So I was like, what the fuck? Are you about to improve each book?
Oh, that's my...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm saying...
Yeah, I said Peeves like 5 minutes ago.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah.
I was very confused.
He was great. He fucked shit up.
Yeah.
What a great little poltergeist. But yeah, so that's my order. What would your order have been?
Oh, mine is personally...
It's number 7.
My number 7 is Philosopher's / Sorcerer's Stone.
Really?
Number 2, Chamber of Secrets. Number 3, Half-Blood Prince. Number 4, Prisoner of
No, I thought
Azkaban.
we're going the other way. We're starting at your least.
Yeah. These were my least.
So you have Chamber...
So
Okay.
my least favorite is
Okay.
Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, then Half-Blood Prince,
It's the same for me, and you were judging.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
And then my top 3 in descending order. Number 3 would be Goblet of Fire. Number 2, Order of the Phoenix. Number 1, Deathly Hallows.
Okay. But also, you said Half-Blood Prince wouldn't have been there on yours. You had it in the same spot as mine.
No, I was talking about... I agreed with that. I said, I'm pretty sure it's in the same spot as mine.
Anyway.
I also, a little bit of crowd participation. I put out in a Facebook group that I'm part of, for a podcasting network thingy, asking people to rank, well, within the, it's no secret, the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates group. We're not part of Planet Broadcasting. I'm not trying to say we are. This is just a group that I'm very active in. I decided to throw it to them, rank like in a poll on Facebook, and
I know that mine are probably very different from a lot of people.
their number 7 is Philosopher's Stone. Nobody voted for that. Then Chamber of Secrets, Deathly Hallows. Can't agree with that. Then Order of the Phoenix, Prisoner of Azkaban, Half-Blood Prince, number 1, and then number 1 is Goblet of Fire. Whose fucking favorite is the Half-Blood Prince? It's such an in the middle
People who
movie.
wanted a lighthearted one in the middle of all the dark. But yeah, I know that my list probably a lot of people won't agree with, but it's because mine clearly was like affected because I was seeing the movies and reading the books out of order because I don't know. But I love both series because they're one of the reasons why I got into reading and why I got into movies so heavily. So go
some
that.
good gifts in the comments too. People
So Harry Potter,
chucking them Star Kid gifts out.
Thank you, Harry Potter, for getting me to read and get interested in movies because they did that both. So
very similarly for me. Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, I was very into fantasy as a child.
Yeah.
And then I kind of grew into sci-fi, I guess.
Yeah. I prefer fantasy to sci-fi.
What about a sci-fi fantasy?
What does that even mean?
I guess Star Wars could be considered that.
It's not a fantasy.
I mean, it has fantastical elements to it. It has magic.
It's a sci-fi. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. We will see you next week with some Rocky.
Well, there is one. You said that it was hard for you to rank these because you don't dislike any of them. There's one Rocky movie that I strongly dislike. Yeah. Then the rest are all really good movies.
All right. Well, thank you for listening.
I'll spoil it now. It's freaking Rocky 5. It sucks. It's so bad.
Wow.
I'll go in further detail, but just look at the poster in between this episode and now, and you'll understand.
We're not on that yet, so you can talk about and rant about that next week. Thank you so much for... Why aren't you singing Harry Potter?
Because we gotta get pumped for next week.
No. All right, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week, or we'll talk to you guys next week.
I'm giving you back.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at 10for10pod. Follow us on Facebook or like us on Facebook, 10for10 on there. We are on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean. We are 10for10 on 10for10.podbean.com, and then 10for10 podcast on iTunes and Spotify. They add the podcast. I don't know why.
Thank you. That's not
Gmail as well. 10for10pod@gmail.com. Email us there. And leave us an iTunes review, please. Written is better. 5 stars is the best. Thank you so much for listening to this episode.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that's it. Bye.
This podcast is part of the Shrimp Queen Network.
Visit facebook.com/Shrimp Queen Network to see more great podcasts.
Hear them.
Hear more great podcasts.
Good job.
Thanks for listening.